We live in a digital world. We bank online, shop online, and connect with friends and family online. Our lives are increasingly intertwined with the internet, making it an essential part of our daily routines. All of this online activity creates a lot of data. Every click, every transaction, and every message contributes to a vast digital footprint. Our data is valuable, and hackers want it. They are constantly devising new ways to steal personal information, financial details, and even identities. That's where two-factor authentication, or 2FA, comes in. It's a robust security measure designed to protect your online presence. It's like a security guard for your online accounts. Just as a guard checks IDs before allowing entry, 2FA verifies your identity before granting access. It adds an extra layer of protection to keep your data safe. This additional step ensures that even if someone has your password, they can't access your account without the second factor. Imagine trying to get into a safe. The safe represents your online account, and the combination is your password. You need the combination, which is your password. But what if you also needed a key that only you had? That's 2FA. This key could be a code sent to your phone, a fingerprint scan, or even a facial recognition check. It ensures that only you can access your account. 2FA is becoming increasingly important. As cyber threats evolve, so must our defenses. It's no longer just an option, it's a necessity. Without it, your accounts are vulnerable to attacks. By the end of this essay, you'll understand why. We'll explore how 2FA works, its benefits, and how you can implement it to safeguard your digital life. Enabling 2FA is simple and can be done in a few steps. Most online services offer it, and it's a small effort for a significant increase in security. With 2FA, you can have peace of mind knowing that your personal information is much more secure. So double down on security and make 2FA a part of your online routine today. Two-factor authentication, or 2FA, is an extra layer of security that protects your online accounts. In today's digital age, where cyber threats are constantly evolving, having just a password is no longer enough to keep your information safe. It requires two factors of authentication to verify your identity. This means that even if someone manages to get hold of your password, they still need another piece of information to access your account. Think of it like this. You have something you know, which is your password, and something you have, like your phone. This combination significantly increases the security of your accounts. Both are needed to get in. Without both pieces of information, access is denied, making it much more difficult for unauthorized users to breach your accounts. The first factor is something you know, typically your password. This is the most common form of authentication and is something you use daily. The second factor is something you have, like a code from your phone or a fingerprint scan. This second layer can be a physical device, a biometric scan, or a one-time code sent to your mobile device. 2FA makes it much harder for hackers to access your accounts. Cybercriminals would need to bypass not just one but two security barriers, which is significantly more challenging. Even if they steal your password, they still need your second factor to get in. This additional step ensures that your personal and sensitive information remains secure, providing peace of mind in an increasingly digital world. Enabling 2FA on your accounts is a straightforward process and can usually be done through the security settings of your online services. It's a small step that can make a big difference in protecting your digital life. There are various methods of two-factor authentication available, including SMS codes, authentication apps, and even hardware tokens. Choose the method that best suits your needs and enhances your security. By taking advantage of 2FA, you are adding a robust layer of security to your online presence, making it much more difficult for cybercriminals to compromise your accounts. Stay safe and secure with two-factor authentication. One of the most common methods of 2FA is SMS-based authentication. With SMS-based 2FA, you receive a text message with a unique code to your phone after entering your password. This code is time-sensitive and can only be used once. It adds an extra layer of security because even if someone steals your password, they can't access your account without your phone. SMS-based 2FA is easy to set up and use. Most online services offer it as an option. However, it's not foolproof. Hackers have been known to exploit vulnerabilities in the SMS system to intercept codes, but it's still much better than nothing. Authenticator apps offer a more secure alternative to SMS-based 2FA. These apps generate time-based one-time passwords, or TOTPs, that are synchronized with the service you are trying to access. Popular Authenticator apps include Google Authenticator and Authy. They're free and easy to use. Authenticator apps are more secure than SMS because the codes are generated offline. This makes it much harder for hackers to intercept them. However, if you lose your phone, you also lose access to your Authenticator app. It's important to back up your accounts in case this happens. Section 5. Keys to the Kingdom hardware tokens. Hardware tokens are physical devices that generate one-time passwords. They look like a small USB drive and plug into your computer's USB port. Hardware tokens offer a high level of security because the codes are generated offline and are not susceptible to interception. They are commonly used by businesses and organizations with sensitive data to protect. However, they can be more expensive and less convenient than other methods of two-factor authentication. Section 6. Biometrics, your unique ID. Biometric authentication uses your unique biological characteristics to verify your identity. This includes fingerprint scanning, facial recognition, and iris scanning. Biometrics are becoming increasingly popular as a form of two-factor authentication. Many smartphones now have fingerprint scanners and facial recognition software built in. Biometric authentication is convenient and secure. However, there are concerns about privacy and the potential for misuse. Section 7. Setting up your defenses. 2FA on Google and Facebook. Setting up two-factor authentication on popular platforms like Google and Facebook is easy and only takes a few minutes. Here's how. 1. Go to your Google account. 2. Click on Security. 3. Under Signing into Google, select two-step verification. 4. Follow the on-screen instructions. 1. Go to your Facebook settings. 2. Click on Security and Login. 3. Under Two-Factor Authentication, click Edit. 4. Follow the on-screen instructions. Section 8. Backup codes, your safety net. When you set up two-factor authentication, you'll be given backup codes. These are one-time codes that you can use to access your account if you lose your phone or hardware token. It's important to store your backup codes in a safe place. Write them down and keep them somewhere secure, like a fireproof safe. Backup codes are your safety net. Make sure you have them. Cyber threats are becoming increasingly sophisticated. Hackers are constantly finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and steal data. Data breaches are becoming more common. These breaches can have a devastating impact on individuals and businesses. They can lead to identity theft, financial loss, and reputational damage. Two-factor authentication is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from cyber threats and data breaches. It adds an extra layer of security that makes it much harder for hackers to access your accounts. Section 10. Two-factor authentication in action, real-world examples, and case studies. There are countless examples of how two-factor authentication has prevented breaches and protected accounts. This security measure adds an extra layer of protection by requiring not just a password, but also a second form of verification, such as a text message code or an authentication app. Here are a few real-world examples that highlight the importance and effectiveness of two-factor authentication. In 2017, a hacker gained access to the Twitter account of then-CEO Jack Dorsey. This incident could have led to significant reputational damage and misinformation being spread through his account. However, the hacker was unable to post any tweets because Dorsey had two-factor authentication enabled. This additional security step prevented unauthorized access from causing further harm. In 2019, a security researcher discovered a vulnerability in Facebook systems that could have allowed hackers to take over user accounts. This vulnerability was a serious threat, potentially exposing millions of users to cyber attacks. However, the vulnerability was mitigated by Facebook's two-factor authentication system. This extra layer of security ensured that even if the primary system was compromised, unauthorized access was still prevented. These examples show that two-factor authentication is an essential security measure that can protect your accounts from even the most sophisticated attacks. By requiring a second form of verification, it significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access. Whether it's protecting high-profile accounts or safeguarding personal information, two-factor authentication is a critical tool in the fight against cyber threats. Implementing this security measure can make a substantial difference in maintaining the integrity and security of your digital presence. So, Always enable two-factor authentication wherever possible to ensure your accounts are as secure as they can be. Section 11. Conclusion. Take charge of your online security. In today's digital age, online security is more important than ever. Two-factor authentication is a simple but effective way to protect yourself from cyber threats and data breaches. Enabling two-factor authentication on your accounts is one of the most important things you can do to improve your online security. It adds an extra layer of protection that makes it much harder for hackers to access your data. Don't wait until it's too late. Enable two-factor authentication on your accounts today.